I myself cannot believe what we are going to spend a great deal of this morning talking about. You see the squad we've put together, including the man you want to hear from all morning long. Plus, we have a variety of guests, most of whom played for Bill over the years, coming off this huge news in the football world. In case you have not heard, 6-time Super Bowl winning head coach Bill Belichick has been named the new head coach at the University of North Carolina. UNC says the sides have agreed to a 5-year deal, which is scheduled to be approved by the Board of Trustees today. There has obviously already been tons of reaction, including this from our friend Michael Wilbon, who is intrigued by the new challenge ahead for the greatest coach ever.
Being the GOAT in the profession he's been in, it doesn't mean you get to go to something familiar when you go to college sports today. NIL and the transfer portal have changed everything. Bill Belichick had total control in New England. In college now, you have to deal with elements that he may not want to. Bill's going to be walking into that world, which nobody knows quite how to handle. I'm actually much more excited to see what's going to happen with Bill Belichick in North Carolina than I would be if he'd gone to the Falcons.
I think a lot of people feel that way. Intriguing for certain. That may be the only thing that is certain. Put your feet up. I'm not taking a commercial for a long time. Here we go. Shefty, unload on us, if you will, here. How did this happen?
I think we go back to last offseason in the National Football League, and we go back to Bill Belichick interviewing and being a finalist for the Atlanta Falcons head coaching job, and the Falcons deciding to go with Raheem Morris. The Washington Commanders had a phone call with Bill Belichick and ultimately decided to go with Dan Quinn. And I think Bill Belichick looks at the NFL and doesn't trust that the league is going to make the right decision. There is uncertainty about whether or not he would get a head coaching job at the NFL level at this time. And he, at his core, is a coach and wants to coach. He can be doing all the Manning casts he wants. He can be doing all the Pat McAfee shows he wants. The fact of the matter is he loves coaching. North Carolina offered certainty. And I don't think Bill Belichick goes into anything randomly without thought. He has it well thought out. He has it researched. He has a plan. He knows just how he will attack it and what he will bring to the university. And so when the school idea comes up, some people might not think it's a natural, but Bill Belichick always has been willing to go against the grain. He is a contrarian. When everybody's going one way, he's happy to go another. And at a time where we see a lot of college coaches trying to flee the game because it's become more like a business, we see Bill Belichick going the opposite way to the college game. He did not trust NFL people to do the right thing during this head coaching cycle. He knew that he could get this job. And so when there was a 5-year agreement being waved at him in a place where his father was an assistant coach in the 1950s, it became a natural. And one other thing that Hembo helped point out, his coaching idol was Paul Brown. Paul Brown won a national championship at Ohio State before going to professional football to win 7 championships. Bill Belichick is now doing a reverse Paul Brown. He won all those championships and is now going back to college to see what type of success he could have there.
There are so many dynamics to this that are fascinating. A lot of the traditional college coaches have gotten out because it's become so much more like the pros. Bill Belichick is accustomed to the pros. Maybe he's less uncomfortable with the pieces of this that people like Nick Saban and on a different level, Jay Wright might be uncomfortable with. Dan, I have a million different questions, but first blush reaction.
I love it. I love everything about it. I love it for college football. I love it for Bill Belichick. I think everybody in the ACC is like, gosh darn it, dude. And everybody else wants to go play for a coach. And if you think about the 2 coaches right now in college football that unequivocally players will search out playing for, one was Deion Sanders. I think now it will be Bill Belichick, and I think it's awesome for college football.
I'm going to dive deep into the college piece of this coming up in a few minutes. But let's live in this. You told me that you saw him in September. Yeah. I'll remind everyone, J-Mac played for Bill. You saw him in September, and you had a feeling about the way he was feeling.
Yeah, because at that point, he was already killing it. You mentioned McAfee, and you mentioned the Manning cast, and I said to him, Coach, like, you're just a natural. Like, you criticize us about the media, and now you're all over it. How you liking it? It's all right, J-Mac. And I knew at that point, I was like, oh, yeah, Bill's going to be coaching next year. There's no doubt about it. I think what Shefty said was a great point where no matter what, this cycle, he was going to make sure he had a job and was going to have the ability to help people reach whatever is their potential. And listening to him and talking and seeing what he's done over the past year, I think what he's done is he's sat back, he's went and visited different schools and seen exactly what this college landscape is going to take. Getting guys to the pros, helping guys to determine, all right, you know what, you want to transfer, you didn't make it in the SEC, it's not panning out. I can tell you exactly what you need to up your game to get to the level at which you want to get. And I think that's what he's going to specialize at. It's not going to be convincing a 17-year-old in high school, 18-year-old to come to the school. It's going to be those guys in that transfer portal to come help them win right away.
To piggyback off what you said about Bill Belichick and how you thought he was going to be coaching football, I think the glaring point that we know about Bill is that he loves coaching football, right? And that's the first thing. When you're going to the college game, and D.O., you watch tape every week, and J-Mac, you do as well when it comes to these college kids. I think the thing that stands out to me the most is that these guys aren't being taught the proper way on a consistent basis. Well, when it comes to Bill Belichick, he's going to make sure he's detail-oriented in everything that he teaches these young men, whether it's on the football field or off the football field. He's going to make sure they're disciplined. And he mentioned on the McAfee show that this is going to be a pipeline for the NFL. Well, what guy in their right mind, if you're a kid and you have dreams and aspirations of making it to the National Football League, and you have a guy that's won 8 NFL championships, 6 as a head coach, 2 as a defensive coordinator, and you're not going to go play for Bill Belichick? I'm going to play for a guy, Bill Belichick, or, like you mentioned, Deion Sanders.
It's a destination
who have the
now.
ties to it.
Carolina becomes a sought-after destination now. And I think J-Mac's point of, those players that want to go play in the NFL, but maybe the first year or two of college hasn't necessarily done that. All right, if you're a parent sitting in a living room, or you're one of those kids, where do we want to go? Where do I have the best chance to potentially try and build my NFL career? Go to North Carolina. Go learn from Bill Belichick and the staff he's going to put together. I think the second part is this. I fully expect North Carolina to be a top 20 program within 1 year, and I fully expect them to be a college football playoff member within 2 or 3 seasons. The ACC is a place right now that Clemson has owned for a long time. There's no question North Carolina is capable of taking over that role.
We're talking about North Carolina football.